Asidan ke Nyankopon wo na dom ene ne mabro huna wode adom ye. Da bia na meka se ade achi na yante asem foforo a echi. Ensem bi wonum na woti a na wabusa anwo se nti nipa ne kan ana na omudi di agro. Mi busa o se wonu obi ego. Ne nipa na wone na ego no. Otimi bie na no ka kire wo se onya kwan bi obehyi wabusua ase a eyese ukoso ni nipa no edi agro ana se ehia wo anti no nipa ne nsem a wo ka bia no waso asi ya mi busa se nti African leaders eduru ba bi na se ye pre se ye bedi oman ne so a eya na ye ba botaye wo ya dwen mu ne se ye beboa ma ye ma na koi nanim ana se ye beboa ama ma na sei wo ba betie nsem bi wo behwe nsem bi na wo tia ho na wo hwe se ye mpanimfo yi bi tumi ebre won ho ase esa masa nkrofo we ya na wo busa ho se enti nsem a omo eka no eyampa hwe enuru a omo de ba Africa ne fa kase na omo de ba bekuyan enuru a omo de ba Africa no omo atu omo anum ton omo de ba se na se wo ye nipa na atumi ka se ye pese ye wipe nipa bi fras asiso na Africa na wasi ya shase because almost someone can say we are good for nothing. And I am so no ohianti ne de on be breye bia no ye besom. De almost de be breye bia no ye beje. Enti se ye mpanimfo bi ewo ho. Na se omuntumi anwene anhwe se enkrofo wo yi a ye no omo efa yonkoi omo nyaye on bekuyen he munim de entra samre countries ni fa pesa omo ne Russia etu anamon Africa countries ni bebre hard mass se omo ya omo adwen se omo ne Russia ne beko because omo say Russia omo emposu bibia wo mo so omo mfa wo mo amamre emma say ye gain ti chenchina won so ye bi South Africa wo mo adi adanse say sa yarea yarewu womu ena dis ayare ne bae Asia ya bodin aba no omu chese womu ankasa na engineer de ba South Africa omu de ba se verse na edi akire because omu ya de a omu yes for 10 years no obehunu akire no na se woni ema bebre omo timi kan say Canada ni US ebre Ghana almost 6 billion enye say omo de ba me ya de akon achia ayi o de say yare no on de ba say e de be so awo ano ti adwen biara omo de bia omo ye bia no omo obotaye a omo de yesa de no sani ebeya Africa yasi ebeshi enti se kwasi broni kase odi bibi ebrel na wo bo won semma no a botaye a wodidi akire no ya transi na hwe na mesra onsa ka sa message a bo modern ase politicians no obesande ama ono omatie bo modern na sa we say ebi nko president or vice president ebi nko politicians na nche na omuntie na womu musa se enti nkrofo we asema omo kan e won ni bere se wana sa gro na omudie enti me din na onso ye din na tie na fan sem omo kan mu aba
in Africa was to reduce the population. So to give aid to countries in Africa, not clean water and schooling and things like that, but contraception and abortion, in order to shrink the population of Africa because they have great mineral resources there.
That sounds diabolical.
It is, yes.
That sounds like something conceived in the mind of Margaret Sanger.
Yeah, definitely. And so at the time, Kissinger and those involved with the Carter administration wanted to shrink the population, make sure that the Africans do not develop and do not use the resources for themselves. Because we in the States, we need them. There is a concerted effort of foreign powers to control the population of Africa. Africa is a huge continent, could feed thousands more people, but the policies of the West, especially in Europe. For example, between 1990 and the year 2000, the United States, Canada, and Europe contributed about $6 billion in contraceptives. Not to help the people, not to give clean water, clean food. That is
not to fight malaria, for example.
No, of course, perish the thought, never. Yeah. Let them die. That's the whole idea. So in our work in HLI, we denounced this reality to make the Africans aware that they have to defend themselves against the influence of foreign powers.
Intentionally using synthetic molecules, which by design are cancer, AIDS, all of the bogeymen we could dream up.
Yeah, it's for the purpose of sterilization and population control. There's too many people on the planet we need to get rid of. In the words of Bill Gates, at least 3 billion people need to die. So we'll just start off in Africa. We'll start doing our research there, and we'll eliminate most of the Africans because they're deplorable. They're worthless. They're not part of this world economy. So they have their rights taken away, and they're suppressed, and they're experimented.
And they deserve to get this vaccine first. And from there, you want to do tiering in various countries to make sure your most vulnerable populations get it. In our country, that would be blacks and Native Americans, blacks and Native Americans, blacks and Native Americans.
And if you are black or African American and you're listening to this, you need to know the truth about how you are being targeted for extermination. You and your children and your grandchildren and your parents, you are all being targeted for extermination. Now, to some extent, we are all being targeted in different ways because there is a depopulation agenda that wants to reduce the entire global population to about 1 billion people. But it seems from observing the way they're doing this, they sure do want to get rid of black people first. And they're actively doing it. It's happening right now. It's right under your nose. Most people have no clue that it's going on. And the scientific community is working to exterminate you. It's the scientists. It's the pharmacology evildoers. It's the drug companies. It's the vaccine companies. It's the abortion providers.
Most of you should have heard about this by now. 2 French doctors during a TV debate were discussing testing coronavirus vaccines on people in Africa. One of the doctors, Jean-Paul Mira, said they should do the study in Africa since there are no masks, no treatments, no resuscitation, just like as it is done elsewhere for some studies on AIDS. With over 1.2 million confirmed cases worldwide at the time of this recording, the African continent currently has the least cases of coronavirus in the world, 8,701, with the majority of the cases being in South Africa. So it seems asinine to recommend testing a vaccine in Africa when the majority of the cases are in Europe, Asia, and North America. It would make more sense to leave Africa alone. Test the vaccine on healthy people in their country. If they believe in their vaccine so much, why don't the doctors test it out on themselves since they're going to be face to face with infected people on a daily basis, instead of using African people as their guinea pigs? Letters with Simer's official letterhead were found suggesting that the CIA and British intelligence had involvement in the mass genocide. Alexander Jones confirmed on camera that Seymour had operated with the support of the CIA and British intelligence, used bogus vaccinations to spread HIV virus in the SADC region. He says we were at war. Black people in South Africa were the enemy. He confessed that he and his Seymour colleagues spread the virus in the 80s and 90s under the command of their leader, Keith Maxwell. I'm going to play a few clips of this interview so you can see how important it is that we don't fall for these tactics again.
And he was experimenting on black people.
He was running a number of clinics in the black townships.
Yes.
Pretending to be a medical doctor, offering medical assistance to black people at a very low cost. And people we talked to tells us about how he was experimenting on black people. In the Congo, Maxwell ends up at a secret jungle laboratory funded and operated by the US Army. Here, research is being done into biological warfare and how to weaponize viruses. So, simply put, what is Seymour?
Seymour was a clandestine mercenary organization for hire.
Financed by whom?
Financed by foreign governments. Well, it was clandestine operations. We were involved in coups, taking over countries for other leaders. We were involved in Mozambique, spreading the AIDS virus through medical conditions. One of the things was that we went into African countries.
And how was that done exactly?
Through inoculation.
Through vaccines?
Yeah, through vaccines. Pretending to inoculate people and type of thing.
The idea being to kill black people?
Yeah, to eradicate black people. You must understand the concept was that AIDS was a killer. It was incurable at that point in time. So it was led to believe that if you infected people, it was the quick, non-militaristic approach to eliminate black people.
And that is something you know for a fact, that AIDS was actively being spread to other countries?
Yes, to African countries. We were at war. Black people in South Africa were the enemy.
But so it was about white supremacy?
Definitely. Definitely trying to retain the white supremacy on the African continent.
And furthermore, he tells us that the purpose of Maxwell's clinics in and around Johannesburg was to infect black people with HIV.
These were research facilities for them to inject people with a solution to see that they prevented AIDS in it. In the meantime, they were injecting people with it.
And he was only working on black people in these clinics?
Yes,
yeah. For almost nothing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So you know what I mean? What easier way to get a big guinea pig? That you live in the apartheid system. Black people have got no rights. They need medical treatment. There's a white philanthropist coming in and say, you know what, I'll open up these clinics and I will treat you. I will do this, and meantime you actually the wolf in sheep's clothing.
We may be poor, but we are not stupid. We can read when they write on the vaccine that this is not for distribution in the United States, and this cannot be used in the European Union. This injection cannot, this vaccine cannot be used in Europe. They're even telling you that this is not for us, because they've got some other substandard stuff that they make for us. How do you know the injection that was given to President Biden is the same vaccine that is coming here? You didn't check it when they put it on him. You have not compared that vaccine to the vaccine you have received. You can watch it on CNN and say, even President Biden got a dosage of it. Are you sure? Did you see it? Did you get the drop and analyze it, that it's the same drop getting into an African's body? I think that we need to be more responsible. And our salvation outside God, will be by responsible governments on the continent of Africa. Corrupt governments, those who are just looking for money from the West, are going to kill their people like fools. We shall die like fools if we have a government which is corrupt and is only waiting to be given money by the international community. We should never accept everything that comes to us without verification.
Say yenya responsible government ombaka kwaji na bekuyen mesra onsa kasa message you abomodin say obema politician bia atie say womo na create ace say omo de be paper South Africa black na asi yari ahodo aba tuberculosis yari ahodo nyina no ayewo mu na ekreti saade no ana omo de ba enam se ye di kamfo no bi empebre na omo nya omo adwen se omo de omo kra eto ha ma oman no na omo akwaje. Enti Africa president much say omo adwen say e was say omo eyi ni pe free ho no na ka 1 billion na omo here from Africa. Now the vaccines na omo de bebre omo be create yare no na omo de hu aduraba na aduro so omo de ba no na ehon sonsanso no se mekuen hwe nyame onayo nyame onai yare omo kreti ye no yan hwe se na yesikum omo na hwe Africa enso na omo buta nyina ne se omo kreti yare no omo de yan kuma puma pimbe bawati ni omo ye yan ti se ni a esi Misrim pepepe se omo adwen ne se Israelfo no edosun omo wo merima na se okon ebiba Israelfo no ene Misrim atamfo no beka bom ni akon atia enti yan hye wo mo ase Sajin boni we na akoso o ahase wa Africa ha ana sa nyansa boni a ye de di nipa wu enti mesese ya man paninfo no se omo de bibi ba na eye free a Awurade adom ye wo ngumanimfo wo ha Mama ya minim kura no wontumi mfa bibi boni bi enko Germany na entra airport na enko manum ansa na omahu sa de boni bi aba ade bi ebewura o manum no from airport to hodmo na say from harbor hodmo na no ombe hwe hunu say ade we ni say ko o manum yenso ya ha obehe na esisi market ansani yakofatu abaako na yakade we na chese afọ mani nyina kakra ebedi enti African penifo enkosi da ben si asori agina ya naso oni de omoka there are a lot of resources ewo Africa enti ombebo modia se ombebre ya se yeni ankasa na yenya nyansa ya de be develop your mind no because yenya sorry gina na so ombe mobo enti omu nim ye se Africa niwa omu ni ho ena yenya hunu animonyam ne niema papa nyankopon dia man ena da biara ya ye ho nkoa bepeme ne because yakwaje besia no a ye be che na ya disikana kozisisi ya dem ya beche no mani huna mani Yakopa besia wɔ IMF me kan sɛ MPP fo na ankasa kura no saa sika no kan betumi anya bi awɔ mo amumu samo ya no kwafo a mo yɛ nkrɔfo ampa mo dɔ ɔman yi a saa sika yɛkɔ akɔgye besia no mo abɛkyerɛ yɛn de yɛnya no besia no kɔkɔgye a ɔna bɛka kyerɛ sɛ nurse fo fa sei ɛmfa wei na ya TMM na besia gye nti no obi na ɛkyerɛ yɛn de yɛnyɛ. And so bedru abato so ama esika kakra won ye dia be campaign akan se market sia se enipa no ye de ne kotra konwa no so a wode switch ne be fie kwan so enkosi da ben Proya didi etrimu besia no onim ye se okogye a o percentage wo ho enti onfa ho ne edi besia na chi ge Sam George nkwani nipa wasori agina a wiase nyina ya tenenka Radio Home Africa mobo. Yeah. Mo amoti won ma mo kan se ma brofo amoti wa mo kan se mo ginawu enso adwen wo won tinu se yan hye Africa se. Enti AIDS ehase wo South Africa. Enipa timi kotra lab. Na wakeka chemicals abum na wakeka we abum na wahunu yie se ya di wo nipa oti asema na president nika osi won ya se ya di awo ayi o de say America president na wadwen ya se adukro na ya de wo no eno an ya de bre wo Africa ha no tuane ya de kro ba de gumo no wadwen ya se ya de kro ye ba yan test hwe ene ye test kra na ye bone a ye nka fi se ye ka sika on de bre no mo mfa mre ye biem because the oye president and say oye politician no emfa ho se obenya sika nko ade a ne nkrofo engu so obenya sika ne nkrofo engu so tie nsem an nkrofo we kan no anke ye bebo ye ho modern aye se ye mpo o mo besia kra bia biem omanya yetimi kasi ya the gold ekoje oil omanya yetimi kasi ya the gold ekoje oil and so say ayi if you say ayi nim de kasi pa gold any ayi or they say petrol de hina what value ti yen ade a ne board din no ye de koje ade a ewo fom say unim China and Russia epese omutwa iska ti say Bitcoin ye gold nti bedru ba bia no omu nyisu krata biem eno na emma ayi for no di say America for no omu hu di omu ye omu sese no sese black ayi Africa countries ni bebre no pese omu join Russia because Russia for no omo mama post to be ngu so say chinchina ye we mama ye ni na ho mama ye ni enna ho African leaders they ain't taking responsibility ya dia mo ye no mo adwen ya won say ochira no ba wi o enchirima no de na modi ja enchirima no de na modi ja enchirima no se ane san krofo we akọ ni sei ya adwen papa biara ni wontirim o ti asma on kan o say Canada US and Europe almost brand 6 billion but tiny say yen fem stop awo o man fa masse yen fa nye nsuo mwa aduan papa se ekwan ya yase ebe hye enye yase ebe hye anko mani abre dendenden se om de ace eba ayo de say homosexual eba Africa na president no ne din ama ba bi owo ama osi president onye responsible no beko akoje na waje yare na abre ne country abra wosenka ye hwe aduro na omode eba ne se ye de wo nipa ebeboa nia omunima ne se mo ya be sanhim na o se bi o yi kwan ya faso atu adua ne di a sanka ye sidi no awani monyam ana ye ne ankasa etumi ye adua ne na yankra niema ye die adua ne a ye die emo a ye wasase e betumi adua ye mo wa ha planting for food nanka Ghana ha sei yatumi aye ni aye ni aye di ni aye dua ni aye di a yanko sensika bia meda bia no nka wenne mmayen so saa mesraw on saka message wa this is not the first time nkrofo we ababontin kasa ansem we o na omo strategy de ya omo niema on saka abomodin a ma politicians no omonte omote kura na ase omo sisi omo aso obofo onim so obawi ado ati anko hwe hoyi na meka se odi aduane si wako ho ahwe na ye ne yie ebi a wa na abetwa ho ababedi sa aduane no omie nyina na womo yesa na womo anyina ma womo man a womo hu se Africa ye ho odin Africa nyame ahirae ti kwan bi on be fa so da bia no yentumi empeja na yenkoyanimu and omo driver from Accra to London and anka omo epe Apostle Joseph Kais ni bi na nka omo driver ko ya oh nka Ghana nka next time no mobekwa mom ko Apostle Joseph won na mom ko Tony Kais ni bi so mon kan kira no se mo pese mo driver for obe Kais amamo mo de beko na Ghana ye ku anim njaya besia brand abosia obi na me hiasia me kan obi woni obi fadamfo adamfo a woni na efa no ono ayi ne sia duasan bienu aka kire wo se adamfo a efa no on de obehwa busua na ase wo se chinchina me no be fadamfo ni panese me hyiwase wo se ekomo a edementi no meba no ahimase Eradi hunu Ghana mobo ohun Africa mobo na African leaders no mun take responsibility the nation the continent is very sick we need divine healing Eradi hunu mobo no mre na ni asemaye na mo Mobo mutiri mo posem bekunya mo na masibehye mo na masibehye o yari amode ba ye ya yari ekodi awu e ba ewiase Africa bi wi de be mo hwe mo na mo wuti sa anwansana mo ka se nyame otisoro onim de oyo yen ye wo nyame DNA yen ya bibifo yen na ye free nyame muton What you call research here? Call research. Yen free nyami muton. Radin African same na Oversight in Kabi my Apostle Dr. Samson J. Kwachin. T na bompaye. Emma Africa why? Radio Shrine. Bye bye.